I'm pretty sure most people, or at least the entire Senators fan base, they're all aware that the Ottawa Senators are going to start the regular season without netminder Cam Talbot, who will miss 5 to 7 weeks with an upper body injury. As according to TSN's Darren Drieger, the 35-year-old fractured a rib earlier in training camp, but played through the pain until Thursday when the injury was aggravated further. However, on Monday, the Senators announced that Talbot would miss the entire start of the campaign, and that kind of just leaves a gap for the Senators in net, and so therefore Pierre Dorion decided to claim Magnus Hellberg off waivers from the Seattle Kraken. And I just kind of felt bad because Magnus Hellberg had the best NHL pad setup I have ever seen. I mean, look at those pads. Those pads just look great. But either way, Talbot was pretty much the centerpiece in a flurry of summer moves for Dorion, as I'm not going to get into what the moves were. I think everyone has heard it a gazillion times on this channel, but one of the main important moves that the Senators had made was trading away Matt Murray to the Toronto Maple Leafs. And then they also sent Philip Gustafson to the Minnesota Wild. And so therefore they needed Talbot in return. So they got Talbot from that Gustafson trade. The Senators plan on entering the season with Talbot topping the goalie depth chart, as Anton Forsberg was pretty much going to be the backup, with prospects Mads Sogard and Kevin Mendelise representing the Belleville Senators. Talbot's injury casts kind of a shadow over what has been an uplifting summer in Ottawa, as he was acquired to be a steady veteran presence between the pipes, as the rest of the three goalies who I just mentioned, they're all pretty young guys. So it's good to learn some experience from a backup goaltender. But now his influence is just going to be limited to the press box, as Talbot, who is in the final season of a 3-year, $11 million contract, upheld a 2.76 goals against average and a .911 save percentage in 2021-22. He has also finished the campaign with a 32-12-4 record, and with that being said, Forsberg has produced similar results to Talbot over the past two regular seasons, despite playing behind a weaker defense corps, as you guys can see right here. Forsberg was also a breath of fresh air last season, as he seized control of the crease at a very difficult moment for the Senators and played a very crucial role in their improved form. But then again, there is a reason why Dorian pursued a new starter in the summer, and it's because the Senators were just not comfortable in having the Swede as their starting netminder, and Ottawa has aspirations of playing meaningful hockey. I'm pretty sure they're considered to be contenders this year. They have all the right pieces to do so. They're under pressure to start the season on the right foot, and Talbot's injury could just unsettle some of those plans. And even without considering the wider picture here, he's still a major loss to the team. But let's move on to Magnus Hellberg, because he is another part that we need to talk about. And he's going to provide the Senators with some depth while Talbot is confined to the treatment room. He was picked in the second round of the 2011 NHL draft by the Nashville Predators, but has spent most of his career in the KHL. The 31-year-old's numbers from a 5-season career in Europe have been average. He's recorded a career-high .94 save percentage with the SKA St. Petersburg in 2018-19, departing with 169 KHL appearances on his resume. He was also a consistent performer for guess which country, Team Sweden, and has upheld a .935 save percentage in 7 appearances at the Men's World Championships. However, Hellberg only has 5 NHL appearances to his name and has split last season between HK Sochi and the Detroit Red Wings, and he finished the season with a 13-20-4 KHL record, a .917 save percentage, and a 2.42 goals against average. So I think it's pretty clear that Hellberg is going to be kind of insurance for Forsberg and for the Senators, as he is a very experienced goalie at the professional level, and he will act as a buffer between Forsberg and the team's top goalie prospect in Sogard. But what does this really mean for Forsberg exactly? Well, I mean, we already can assume that Anton Forsberg is going to face some very daunting workload, as he will be expected to carry the load to start the season. Talbot may be out until early November or maybe late October, but that's going to be at the point when the Senators will have played more than a dozen games. And if you look at the schedule right now, it's kind of hard. I mean, they start with the Buffalo Sabres, and they're playing a playoff team in the Toronto Maple Leafs and Boston Bruins and Capitals. Then they play the Coyotes. Then they play the Stars. I'm not going to read this entire thing. You guys can just check it out right here. But still, that is not going to be a very easy start. There is still a small silver lining, though, because the Senators aren't really scheduled to play any back-to-backs until the first week of December, which could allow Forsberg to play in every game until Talbot returns, and it would involve in throwing Forsberg's load management out the window and increasing his risk of an injury. And for a franchise aiming to move up the standings, the Senators find themselves in a very difficult situation before the season has even started. So what is really next? Well, the Senators, they have 3 preseason games left to play as of this recording, which is October 4th, and all of them are against the Montreal Canadiens, and they must use these final days to integrate Hellberg and shore up their plans in net, and ahead of a very difficult year in the Atlantic Division, so its team cannot afford to start slowly. Thank you guys for tuning in, and have a wonderful day.